So James Fishback before the change has popped up. Another right winger. But I didn't see this before. Can James Fishback just, does anyone else think that he's Jewish and he's just not admitting it? Does anyone else think he's also pretending to be Catholic like Pablo Fuentberg? He said he took a DNA test and he still hasn't released the results. It's fine. I mean, if he's a Jew, it's fine. I have nothing against Jews, right? If he's saying the right things and he wants the right bills passed, that's good. If he wants to get pounced, that's good. But just the LARP is a little bit annoying. The LARP is annoying. People say that the name Fishback is a German Jewish name. Fishbach. Come on, be honest about it. Be honest. Be honest.
Kushner tried to help Israelis negotiate multilateral peace agreements,
I think a jaw always moving side to side like a skeleton in a Halloween shop.
or more bilateral peace agreements through the Abraham Accords, again, while cutting out the Palestinians. All of this just continued to drive the Palestinian plight further and further because they saw more and more allies being isolated from them. They saw no recognition out from the United States. And then, obviously, terrorist attacks is all you can do.
Mexican last name. LMAO, these goipers silly.
See, there's a real Christian. Is this the same Methodist guy? Shout out to you. You guys understand it. These goipers aren't actually Christian. They worship a Mexican Jew and they're in a cult. It's embarrassing. Stu Peter said, I said this to Owen Benjamin live today. I think he's a Jew. You think Fishback? You know, the fact that I think you're right, Stu. I think you're right. And it's something wrong with that. But I think he's trying to get a white nationalist movement. I think James Fishback believed in the Goiper psyop that he saw on Twitter. He saw the likes and stuff, and he thought that that's where all the energy is, and it's not. The youth is going to the DSA. They're going to fight actual oligarchy. They're not going to focus on culture war issues. It's no one's talking about how inverted it got. The right talked about how the left was all about identity politics and culture war slop for 10 years. Now that's the right. Their entire movement is based around racial identity, is based around victimizing themselves, saying that they're being genocided and attacked. Oh my God, white people. Well, you have the Democratic Socialists, they're
SNEAKO,
addressing the problem.
Did you see that Al Zut was trending on the front page of the Hub?
No, I didn't. Why would I have known that? They're the ones calling out the oligarchy. They're the ones calling out AIPAC. They're the ones that are focusing on the most important issues right now. That's their number one objective. Yes, they're wrong about the culture war stuff, but that's not their primary concerns. And Stu texted me, said he wants to do it, show them all.
We have two opposing J's, you and Fuentberg, telling us to do this, do that.
But the thing is, what you don't seem to realize, it's not about your ethnicity. You have to get rid of this. Like, get rid of the identity politics. Jesus is 100% Yahud, bro. Jesus is Jew. Musa alayhi salam is a Jew. Okay? It's about lying. It's about grifting. It's about creating more division off of race war slop. It's about trying to get people focused on issues that are not important. If you're a white nationalist talking about your DNA all the time and race IQ and you're not even Ashkenazi, you're Sephardic, it's silly, bro.
Avocados from Mexico.
Oh my God. I don't know how many more Goipers I could have to like tell the same stuff to today. I know it gets exhausting.
From that point, apparently, so
Trump moved an embassy, got Muslim majority countries for the first time ever to recognize the rightful existence of the Jewish state of Israel. And that justifies the heinous attack we saw on October 7th, where we killed over 1,000.
said anything justified
Well, you
anything.
said that Trump was responsible for
I said that
October
Donald
7th.
Trump and his foreign policy posturing is what moved us in that direction.
President Biden was in office for 3 years before October 7th happened. How possibly could that be Trump's fault?
What did Biden do to contribute to the conditions that made October 7th happen?
Goated
Very clear.
Was
Very
curious
clear.
to know how Malcolm X changed how you think.
I've made a lot of videos about that. Watch Letter to Mecca.
Iran was only exporting
Letter from Mecca.
150,000 barrels of oil a day under Trump. Now they're exporting 1.6 million. They're making hundreds of billions of dollars a year more. That emboldens them to give their proxies weapons, money, and the vigor to attack the Jewish state. And that is unacceptable in the international community. Let me tell you something about President Trump. Let me tell you something about President Trump.
The only reason that Hamas
Let me tell you
attacked
something
Israel, you think
about-
the only reason they'll be able to do it is because of increased Iranian funding?
Who funds Hamas?
In part, it's Iran, but Hamas gets funding from all.
You know, Israel gave Hamas $35 million through Qatar. Israel funded Hamas.
Sorts of different adventures.
Who funds Iran?
They were
Who
getting
funds
they
Hamas?
get money from Qatar, right?
Who funds? Okay. Who funds Hamas? Of course they do.
Right? Probably
Who gives
more money. I
money?
think.
No.
It might have been Qatar, I think,
Steven.
actually.
Well, they give them a Ritz-Carlton hotel room. But listen.
No, they were transferring a whole lot of money to the Gaza Strip. That was one of the big things, one of the big scandals that Netanyahu was involved in.
Is that Rich the Kid? New freezer. New freezer. I saw me new eater. New cheeser. But I mean new eater. Hey.
was allowing that money to pass through to the Gaza Strip
Stephen,
under
let's
his
just do some
supervision.
quick logical reasoning here. If Iran gets more money, that's good for Hamas, right? You agree on that? Come on.
Broadly speaking.
Broadly speaking, yeah, come on. Just concede one thing, Stephen. Come on.
Broadly speaking, probably, yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's more that at play here
That's
that I'm
fine.
not even sure if you're aware of. So the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, has some amount of money that's guaranteed to it, regardless of whether they're exporting or importing as a
And you know
country.
what?
And they, but yeah, in general, I'll give you
You know what? I am glad that President Trump ordered the assassination of Qasem Soleimani because that man is responsible for death and destruction. The targets he made on the Jewish state were completely unacceptable. Stephen,
I don't even think the targets he made on American citizens in Iraq was unacceptable. I have no love lost for Soleimani. I'm glad the dude's dead. I'm not going to sit here and defend it, but Donald Trump doesn't do anything good foreign policy-wise for Israel. He doesn't have a vision for the region. That's why he had to basically leave all of it to his son-in-law Kushner.
But why?
Wow. Suleiman says Dan Bilzerian stood by his principles. He campaigned on what he believed in. One may disagree with his positions, but he never
If you and
compromised.
Pablo were drowning, you think Myron will save you or Pablo? LOL.
Who do you think? Spam it up, chat. Who do you think? Good question. Funny question. All right, stop. I don't want anybody to be attacking Myron. I disagree with this take that Muslims are retarded if they don't vote right wing. One may disagree with his positions, but he never compromised. He received almost 20% of the vote. James Fishback was shilling for Zionist Ron DeSantis throughout his campaign, Israel's #1 pick. The guy went to Israel to sign domestic censorship laws for Florida. People said Fishback was playing the game. He compromised. He only got 10% of the vote. That should be a lesson. Don't compromise your positions or your values. You know why Dan Bilzerian had a major victory yesterday? One, he exceeded expectations. Two, Dan Bilzerian had the most successful campaign in American history.
Will there be more future dialogue with the American Communist Party? Much love, SNEAKO.
Maybe. Yes. Okay. Dan Bilzerian ran the first campaign in American history with the sole campaign effort to end Jewish supremacy in America. No one has ever done that. Nobody has focused their campaign on a singular issue, which was ending Jewish supremacy in America. He exceeded expectations and got 25% of the vote in a district dominated by boomer, AIPAC, brainwashed white people that endlessly want to give money to Israel. That's a win. He changed the conversation and also showed that you can get more votes not compromising than James Fishback, who seems like he's dancing around it nonstop. One day you want to get rid of AIPAC, one day you want to get rid of Palantir, the next day you're talking about deport SNEAKO because of free speech and Islamism being a threat and you can't define it. Dan Bilzerian did not compromise at all, whatsoever. So I want to see him run again. And I think he'll do better next time. But did you think he was going to do that well? I don't think there was nobody, none of the prediction markets, and nobody predicted him to do that well. Major win. Yeah, look at that. So yesterday, just so you remember, Dan Bilzerian, 25% of the votes. And James Fishback, third place. Not even close to Jay Collins. Who the F is that guy? Who's Jay Collins? Who is this? I didn't see any media coverage of Jay Collins at all. He swept James Fishback. Even combined, they don't even threaten Byron Donalds. Byron Donalds, you don't know who he is? It's not fresh. It's not Think About This. It's an AIPAC funded. Yes, sir. I should be good AIPAC candidate. Yes, sir. No, sir. Dan Bongino.
Salam, I love you, Walla, one tooth for one tooth in, Islam Tate's teeth are gone, Allah protect you.
Bro, you guys need to spell check your TTS before you... What? What? I understand the sentiment. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
I want to go back.